Welcome back to Mike's Miniatures, the place for all things mini wargaming, and in today's video we are going to go over the lore of my custom Space Marine chapter, the Argent Templars, here with you guys. I basically am doing this both out of fun, but also out of the fact that I've had many friends and family members who are interested in some of the things that I do and kind of what my custom Space Marine chapter is all about. This is kind of my first really deep dive into a custom Space Marine chapter, so I hope you guys like this, and I hope to continue to make more videos like this, and I hope this does inspire you as you're doing your own painting projects for your own Space Marine chapter, or if you want to kind of copy the Space Marine chapter to play them for yourselves. That would be a real honor if other people wanted to create my own chapter with them as well. But without further ado, guys, this is the early stages and what I've got so far on the lore of the Argent Templars. In the distant reaches of the Segmentum Pacificus lies a world born of fire, defended by oath and sanctified by an eternal flame. It is here that the Argent Templars stand vigilant, a young but zealous chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, bound to the sacred duty that reaches beyond mere war. The Argent Templars are founded in the turbulent aftermath of the Indominus Crusade. Initially believed to be of the Imperial Fist lineage, the truth was revealed only during their earliest of campaigns. Their gene seed since has been found to be traced to the Salamanders. From their earliest days, the chapter roamed the stars as a fleet-based force, seeking out worlds lost into the Imperium's light. Their crusades eventually drew them ever to the outer fringes of the Segmentum Pacificus, and to the doomed world of Sanctoris. Sanctoris was a mountainous and desert world, with coasts ringed with deep redwood-like forests, with the inland highlands rich with mineral wealth. For millennia it served as the Imperium, both as an industrial powerhouse and a strategic basin. Its hive forge produced armor and plating, munitions and night war gear for the armies of the Emperor. Its vast pilgrimage routes wound between the fortress cathedrals, making it only the logistical hub but a beacon of faith for the sector. The world was ruled and defended by the mighty Knight House Emberhold, whose fortress at Ashfire Citadel stood watch over the capital hive. Alongside them, there was the Order of the Faithful Flame, a militant sisterhood charged with guarding the planet's most sacred of relics and shrines. But glory turned to ruin when the World Eaters descended upon Sanctoris. Their bloody invasion shattered the planet's defenders. Hive cities burned. Pilgrimage roads ran red with blood, and sacred sites were defiled. House Emberhold's knights fell one by one against the Berserker tide, and the Sisters of the Faithful Flame fought to the last relic, their fortress convents reduced to smoldering tombs. As a desperate cry for aid reached out to the galaxy, it eventually reached the vox markers of the Argent Templars within the void. Seeing Sanctoris as both a vital bastion of the worlds worthy of salvation, the chapter committed its full strength upon their arrival. They united with the sacred remnants of the House Emberhold and the surviving Sisters of the Faithful Flame. What followed became known as the Reclamation War, or the Sanctoris Crusade, a grueling flame-flit campaign that purged the World Eaters fighting from the shattered hive walls to the scorched mountain passes, and the Coalition reclaimed the planet, piece by bloody piece. The war reached its climax at the gates of the High Reclusium, the spiritual heart of Sanctoris. Here, the first chapter master of the Argent Templars, Ezekiel Kane, led the final assault to drive the traitors into the ash wastes. The fight was brutal. Chain axes clashed with power swords, beneath skies blackened by the fire and smoke. Kane struck down the enemy warlord within single combat, rallying the Templars and their allies to crush the remaining traitors. But victory came at a terrible price. Mortally wounded, Ezekiel Kane lived just long enough to see the gates of the high reclusium thrown open and the enemy purged from its halls. It was within these reclaimed halls that the coalition uncovered a relic of unfathomable power, the Argent flame. To the uninitiated, it appears as an ever burning fire within an ornate brazier, but to those who stood before it, the flame was alive with the Emperor's will, burning away fear and weakness, searing to the soul with divine purpose. Exposure to the Argent flame forever marked the Templars. Their skin turned pale and their hair white as ash, and their eyes began to glow with an outer worldly light, thus signaling their connection to their salamander heritage. The physical signs were their signs of spiritual rebirth. They swore an eternal oath to guard the flame and the planet. Although they are young among the Emperor's angels of death, the Argent Templars have chosen to make Sanctoris their homeworld, binding their fate to that of the flame. From the fortress monastery of the High Reclusium, they stand watch alongside the Knights of House Emberhold and the Sisters of the Faithful Flame. To abandon the flame would be to abandon the Emperor's own gift, an oath that they will never break. While much of their strength remains devoted to guarding the Argent Flame and the planet Sanctoris, the Templars still answer calls for aid within the neighboring systems. They may be fewer in number than many of the other chapters, but their resolve is absolute, and whenever they march, their enemies hear the same battle cry, "Let the fire judge them," for oath and flame. Well, that was something, wasn't it? I hope you guys have enjoyed that little segment of lore right here that I have created here with some work. That obviously this is not a perfect lore story to the Argent Templars, but this is what I've got so far, and it is subject obviously to change. And that as I continue to go throughout with creating my lore that way with them here, but now. I want to kind of just go over kind of the logistics of the Space Marine chapter when you guys are going to see them on the tabletop here, kind of what I've developed so far with them. So, this is basically what the standard Space Marine is going to look like. They're going to have the bright steel silver armor right here with the blue shoulder pads, and on each shoulder pad, they're going to have the chapter symbol, which is taken directly out of history as the Kingdom of Jerusalem, Jerusalem cross heraldry, but I did change it to have being on the blue field and the main gold cross right here being a gold cross, and the four smaller crosses in the quadrants are white to help kind of make it stand out against a bordered edge of gold here. Now, the standard Space Marine will have the azure blue helmet. Every single one of them, regardless, is going to have their backpacks being black. And on their knee pads here, they will be, some of them will be different colors depending on situation and what company they are in. But typically, the company that they are in is going to be found on the right knee, and then whatever squad or specialty markings or crusades that they're a part of will be found on the left knee, which is the black knee right there. So this is almost every single Space Marine the standard is going to be, with the exception of the first company, which are these guys right here. They're still going to have the same shoulder pads, but their power armor is going to be a bone or brilliant white, right, as you can see on the left right here. And their right knee pad is going to be the gold, with their helmets are also gold, and their lenses are changed from a gold shining to a blue shining light right here. And the first company are known as the Flame Save. These are the veterans of the company or chapter right here. So every single model that I'm going to have that's going to be in the first company. These are all my Terminators, my Blade Guard veterans, my Stern Guard veterans, and any captain or lieutenant that has proven themselves to will be. You'll see those guys will have the white armor to be in from the first company, even if they're in a different company. If they've ever served or been a part of the first company, they'll be in the white armor. And if any of my Space Marines have served in the Death Watch for any length of time or whatnot, they will be automatically placed, regardless of what type of model they are, in the first company. But their left arm will be have their Death Watch shoulder pad and silver arm from their Death Watch time of service. So that's how you know if you see a Marine that is not a Blade Guard or a Stern Guard or in a Terminator armor, but he's wearing, and he's not a leading model, but he's wearing the white armor, he'll have a Death Watch arm that way to help him kind of stand out that way. There are a few exceptions, as you saw with in the past videos with my Judicaar or Judiciar, as people keep telling me I need to pronounce that word better. He'll still be as part of the chaplains part here. They wear the black armor, and he serving in the Death Watch, he kept the Death Watch arm, but he's not in the first company. He's automatically, well, he's in part of the first companies, but he's part of um, these guys here, the chaplains of the army here, and their shoulder pads are going to be unique. They're going to have the chapter symbol surrounded by chains with a gray flame for the Argent flame on a black shoulder pad that way. And these guys are, their whole purpose is to be kind of like any other chaplain, a spiritual leader for the chapter, but their main job is to guard against the librarians in the chapter here who work with the Argent Flame. And so these guys are the flame wardens of the chapter, and rather than being called chaplains, they're called flame wardens. And then the librarians are called the flame bearers. And these guys will wear the entirety of blue armor, but have the first company gold knee pad, just like the flame wardens here. And this is their unique shoulder chapter symbol, so you know that they're part of the flame wardens, that flame bearers like that. And as we all know, psychers are prone to falling easier, and so the flame wardens are supposed to keep an eye on the flame bearers. And I'm going to play that when I have a librarian model, he's going to have a chaplain model not too far away from him, to where he can easily, get rid of him if he's going to be. Traditions from Black Templars are kind of hinted that way. They don't trust the psyker Space Marines too much, but they are useful, so they keep them on that way. And then the only other unique kind of armor variants that are found within the chapter is any apothecaries. They're going to continue to be all white. And first company or whatnot, we'll check on their knee pad, but this is their unique apothecary symbol that I'm kind of created for their shoulder pads that way. And as I'm sure you saw with the lore art from the first chapter master, the chapter master will wear the gold armor to signify that he is the leader of the entire force, and his gold armor will have the bright silver trim that way. But the main thing that unites all of them is the black power packs, as you saw throughout all these variants right here. So as you seen before, here's some of the photos of the current, as the army stands thus far. Here is the current chapter master, Valen Malric, with his Pyrestorm power hammer, or two-handed power hammer that he got from the first chapter master who fell in battle, and he wields that in his honor. And then we have some of the Blade Guard veterans of the first company, the Flame Saved here, and so forth, with all these other different models range that you see here. I'm going to continue to keep expanding this army, but this has been my take on the lore thus far of the Argent Templars. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video so far. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe if you want to continue to follow me with more, and use any affiliate links that I may have to help expand, to support the channel if you're wanting to get any models of your own and kind of create these guys on your own. And give me any hints and ideas of what you think would happen to these guys moving forward. But until next time, guys, I've been Mike, and this is Mike's Miniatures, and bye bye.